if they truly love the Prophet ﷺ, and if they've developed that love early on, before the turmoil comes, the hope is that they'll come back.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Real Talk, Deen and Dunya. I am one of your hosts, Mustafa Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Abdurrahman Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Ayman Talib. And we are back with Mr. Raef. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, and today we're going to be talking about why it's important for Muslims to tell Muslim stories. What are your thoughts?
On what specifically?
That's a great question.
Let me ask you, is it about Muslims telling Muslim stories or just about our stories being told?
I'll just start by saying, tell me a story about the Prophet's past and how the teachings last today.
Oh, that's going to get flagged.
No, but he's right here. Like,
tell me a story.
Yeah.
Ooh, tell me a story.
So we love that song. I remember when we first started hearing it, my wife and I would cry at the very end. It just hit too hard. So like, okay, got it. SubhanAllah, fantastic. Jazakallah khair for that.
Oh, yeah.
So we love MiniMuslims.
Context. Raef is an artist in his own right, and also as an artist, when you go to all the musical platforms, you'll find him there. But he is also the executive producer, and I don't know what other title you hold for MiniMuslims.
Co-creator.
What's that?
Co-creator.
What's your role with MiniMuslims? Spell it out.
I run MiniMuslims.
Did you bring Optimus Prime?
I did. I'm sorry. His arm was already hanging on a thread, so it's not entirely my fault. Yeah,
that's all good. Anyway,
we'll do it for it later.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, the importance of Muslim artists telling Muslim stories. We know the value that we bring as Muslimin to the world with Islam, but then expressing it through the various art forms. Why?
I think with art in general, it's how we transmit values to the next generation, to our own children, and to our own communities. And you do that through storytelling, you do that through songs, you do that through all of the arts. And so when we set out to create the next generation of songs and stories for Muslim kids at MiniMuslims, that's what we had in mind. You know, all of us here grew up listening to a lot of songs that shaped how we see the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, not just songs in the general public, but also Islamic songs.
Nasheed and
a lot of the songs that our parents shared with us when we were young,
like Kool and the Gang, and
I was thinking about more like Dawood Warnsby and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Native Deen directly.
I have a lot of the Native Deen songs. These have sort of been songs of a generation, and when you're a kid, you think it's just a song, and it is just a song, but it's a lot more than that as well. You know, these songs, good or bad, plant these seeds in your heart, and as an adult, those songs still ring in your head. Mm-hmm. And so, what do we want to pass down to our next generation?
Right,
and that's really, you know, when we created MiniMuslims, it's been 5.5 years now. That's really the question that we wanted to answer. And especially for Muslims in the West, a lot of times, you know, with young Muslims here in America and Canada, UK, there's not a whole lot of options for songs for Muslim kids to listen to that don't sound foreign, that don't sound like it's a song from, you know, Egypt or Pakistan or Indonesia, right? It sounds like a song that you would hear on the radio or songs that you hear at school, right? Songs that are not foreign to where you are from, whether it be Texas or Maryland or, you know, Toronto or whatever. And so with most of our songs on MiniMuslims, that was created very intentionally in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see it, also, it because you're on all the different platforms that people are already accessing music anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes convenient. The obstacle is removed.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have any. All of our songs are on all streaming platforms. They're not paywall protected.
Mhm.
You have to pay to get any of our songs. You can go on YouTube right now and watch all of our videos, listen to all of our songs, and that's the way we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because what good is it if you create a library of songs, but only a few people can access, or a percentage of people can access it?
Right.
So that too was also very intentional in all of our productions.
Right.
I'm curious. When you're creating the songs, is it how calculated is it? If that makes sense. Meaning, like,
How deliberate or intentional?
Or intentional is it when you're approaching a new project, a new song that comes like, hey, this would be a good, tune. Does it go through like a validation process, like
Vetting process or
whatever?
I'm sure there's a whole creative team that goes into.
So before even before I launched MiniMuslims, and we launched in 2020.
Sorry, when you say we're talking about, are you talking about Devant? Are you talking about Awakening? Like the team that's there?
Yeah, when we launched the MiniMuslims itself, when we launched in 2020
As a brand,
as a project, as a channel, we mapped out and I listened to all of the songs that are out there for Muslim kids, and I wanted to see, number one, where the gaps were, number one, and number two, where there were particular songs that I felt could have been done better.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was very deliberate, right? What do we want our young children to learn? We want them to learn manners. We want them to learn to remember Allah. And above all, we want them to love Allah. We want them to have a genuine love for Islam and to have a genuine attachment. So a lot of there's this really hilarious video, and I have no problem talking about this video because it gives me the cringe every single time. If you search Bismillah song on YouTube, one of the top ones is this really creepy animation video of this like evil character with like a mustache and a hat, and he tells the kids, if you don't say Bismillah, then the devil will come into your sleep. It's really weird and creepy.
When was this made?
I don't know, but many years ago.
Did you watch
But it has
it?
hundreds of millions of views. That's the problem.
Because it's cringe.
But
that's why people shared it, because like, oh, look, this thing is so cringe.
I believe it or not, many parents still share that song with their children.
Oh my god!
And
Scare the devil out of them.
It's so harmful. You shouldn't scare your kids into loving Islam.
Of course,
that's just not how. That's not how it's supposed to be done.
Right, but YouTube doesn't care about.
It's a view.
Rather, yeah, exactly.
They don't care.
That's the currency,
and that's why you have.
They don't care.
The currency doesn't value. Exactly. It doesn't reward intention. It rewards the click. It rewards the view.
So we can do better. Why can't we do better? We can do better. We can create these amazing songs. We have the message. We have the proper tools of tarbiyah on when to introduce certain topics to young children and how to introduce it to them. And so all of these were very intentional. So we made the Bismillah song with that very specific intention. Another really good example, this is my favorite. I talk about this example all the time because it's one of my favorite examples. When we grew up learning how to pray, there's so many songs that we grew up listening to on how to pray and you must pray. And our parents all said, you have to pray. You're 7 years old now. You have to pray.
God, there's that parenting finger.
You have to, right? You must pray. You have to pray. You've reached the age of 10. You have to pray,
you
right?
have to. That's discipline. There's reason. There's a punishment if you don't.
No, but just the word, you have to pray, right? There's this one talk.
You get to.
Yes. So that's exactly what I was going to talk. Thanks for burning it.
Sorry. Well, let me burn it a little bit more.
Jeez,
he was talking. He was building up for a minute,
and then he just cut in and he just said it. But that get to pray phrase I heard from Sister Tamara Gray.
Yeah,
she had a wonderful talk.
I love when she talks about Salah.
But that specifically, she said it. We should never tell our children, you have to pray. Yalla, we have to pray Dhuhr. Yalla, we have to pray Asr. You rephrase it by telling him we get to pray Asr.
You get to have a meeting with Allah.
It's an opportunity. It's a blessing. It's a privilege. And so just that one phrase, I was like, man, I got to write a song about that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our first, I forget which song number it is, but it's one of our top songs. Yay, we get to pray.
Nice.
We get to pray
5 times a day.
Oh yeah, I heard that song.
And connect with Allah. That song was straight from that lecture I heard from Sister Tamar Gray. That when my kids listen to that song and they remember and they sing that song over and over and over as they grow into adulthood, I want them to remember that. It's like, wait a second. That's what Raef meant. That's what Baba meant when he said, we get to pray. It's no longer an obligation. And in that song, of course, we talk about the 5 different prayers and the fact that salah itself means connection and connect with Allah. So these things they're not just by accident. They're very intentional. To your question earlier about how much of it is planned, a lot of it is planned.
Yeah.
To connect with Allah, we get to pray. This is how I want the next generation of kids to imagine prayer.
Just teaching through song.
Because when we were growing up from the Manbad, you're gonna go to hell. Unless you do this.
And I get it. Yes. There has to be some level. Approach. There has to be some level of that. Some kids need that extra push. I get it. That's fine. But the first interaction that children should have with Allah Azza wa Jal or the Prophet ﷺ or prayer or fasting has to be one of joy. If it's not one of joy, then what the heck are you doing? What? It has. Yes, Ramadan is here. Ramadan is here, come on.
Ramadan is here.
Yes. Shout out to the native Deen guys. No, they did it first.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yeah. That's the Ramadan is here. Yeah.
It's joy. How many kids grew up listening to native Deen's Ramadan is here and have that joy in their heart?
100%. It was part of us. I mean, that's not came out when I was in my 20s, I think, and I still like Ramadan is here. We all had that, right?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's the power of art. That's the power of song. Yeah. That you can communicate those feelings much more effectively than a lecture or
because it's melodic. It's melodic. It's repetitive. It stays. It's nice. It's impressionable. Is that the word?
Yeah, it connects.
It is.
So there's a sense of identity that you start building. I mean, like just going back to the native Deen, like MUSLIM. I'm so blessed to be with them. Like that's huge.
We're adults. We're parents. And yet that still rings in your head.
Right.
How powerful is that?
Inshallah, we would like you to join our show, Native Deen.
When we leave Eid Salah, one of the very first things we do is, these are the days of Eid. Make takbir wherever you are.
These are the days of Eid.
Now here's the shout out to Dawood Warnsby for creating that song. Yeah. But here's where
and it's like that melody is based off of the Takbirat al-Eid melody that's typically there.
It is.
By the way, it only clicked last Eid that melody came from. Wait a minute.
But here's where I started to feel a little worried is that, okay, we're in our 30s and 40s, we're growing into our lives. And when we share a lot of these songs from our childhood with our children, sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't.
Right. It's hit or miss,
what is the next generation of songs?
So the next generation has to, instead of hearing, or it's like maybe they'll hear us singing Ramadan is here, but then my kids need to hear.
What's your version again?
Ramadan around the world.
No, they need to hear.
Ramadan is here.
That's native Deen, and then they need to hear.
Ramadan is here.
Ramadan is here. Allah's mercy is near, right? Yes. And just like a lot, and then they just get into it. My kids, so you had your version of Ramadan is here, and then you had MiniMuslims version of that song. My son is 5, and we do Round the World in the car. What song you want to hear? What song you want to hear? And my son will be like, I want to hear Ramadan is here. Which version? MiniMuslims or Raef? I want to hear Raef. I'm like, really? Okay, cool. I just think that was it's like it's cute for me, but it's like okay.
Your kids taught my kids the I love dates, I love honey, yummy, yummy, yummy in my tongue.
I love the Lego movie inspiration from behind that.
Yeah, that one and the Five Pillars Strong. That was another song that we wrote that we had a lot of fun doing because I didn't see a song about the 5 pillars of Islam that actually thought that kids connected with. And so our attempt at creating the 5 pillars strong song was through that sort of pain point.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do at MiniMuslims, and may Allah give us tawfiq, is to create that next generation of songs for the next 20 years or whatever.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That and our cartoon series and the Quran series that we have.
Right. So let me ask this question then. So it sounds like I want to ask this question when it comes to MiniMuslims, your stuff, the other artists at Awakening, and other Muslim artists that have branded with songs that are Islamic in nature by lyrics and by mood and such. These tend to be, let's call them intra-community songs. They're like by Muslim artists for the Muslim listener. Have they reached the beyond our community,
the greater society?
The greater society.
But not intentionally.
And is there a way to measure the impact of the songs that is made for us to listen to? How has that affected the greater community, the greater society at large?
I don't know how it has. I can't answer how it has affected the greater community at large. Okay. But I can just speak from what I know is that many of our songs, our MiniMuslim songs, are used in Islamic schools across the country and across the world. But recently, I want to say in the last 5 years, many public schools have reached out for like -1 tracks or like music tracks for Ramadan is here so that they could sing it at their public schools,
right?
That's really cool.
Their holiday concerts. They we don't have a Muslim song. Ramadan. This is a Ramadan song.
That's cool.
So I've had many music directors or music teachers from public schools reach out to me for like the sheet music for these songs. Yeah. So
when I was a senior,
so that's what I see.
Yeah, like when I was a senior, shout out to Mary Alice. She wanted to write a multi-faith holiday song. So she has something from Judaism, something from Christianity, something from Buddhism, I believe, and she wanted to include Islam in there. And she reached out to like all the music directors that she knew, and I was an open Muslim, if you want to call it that, right? And I was openly Muslim. I was wore Islam on my sleeve, in high school.
You were in the closet,
and I was not in the closet, and so like my orchestra director, Mrs. K, shout out Mrs. K, she was like, "Hey man, I want to talk to you about something real quick." And so she's like, "Is there a song that Muslims know that we can incorporate in this holiday song that my friend is writing?" And I was like, well, there's a song called Salam wa Salam. It's an Arabic song talking about the legacy of the prophets. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sang it for her and had them, so she broke it down with them and did the sheet music for it, and it was part of our concert that we did, right? And then it was something that she went and did, so having that opportunity to showcase something from our tradition to the general society and appreciate it and applaud it. I thought that was like not a pat on the back, but it was recognizing us authentically, right? Yeah. Not washed or filtered.
I see you.
Yeah, it was an I see you moment.
I see you.
I feel you.
No, not like that.
I had a similar situation like that. I was in choir in elementary school, and this was when Ramadan was around Hanukkah and Christmas, and so the story goes that there were, you know, the Christmas carols and whatever lyrics in this one all-encompassing song, and then Mama was like, "Hey, they need to put Ramadan in here." I was like, "What do you mean? You're talking about everybody else. You need to put, you need to represent Muslims as well." I was like, "Well, okay." And so my mom wrote a lyric for the entire choir to sing at the show. "It's blessed Ramadan, a time to fast, a time to pray." Bam. And that was it. Right? Just same thing. So
it was incorporated.
Incorporated because representation is important through these mediums.
Right. Representation matters. And this is like when it goes back to, and it's kind of, it goes into like when I hear about and I see like the category on different video platforms, streaming platforms, I'll see Black stories, for example. Right. And as Muslims and living in America, that is a segment of our community not to be avoided. Right. They make up anywhere, around 27 to 33% of our community. And you cannot talk about the story of Muslims in America without talking about the Black experience in America. So a highlighted project of Black people telling Black stories, like the number one on the list for me is the 1992 film Malcolm X, directed by Spike Lee. Right, when he wanted to take on this project, and initially, the script had been there for decades. Right, initially.
The biography of Alex Haley is what it's based on.
Based on the autobiography of Malcolm X, right? Alex Haley, and but it was shelved for the longest time, and then ultimately got picked up. It was like Columbia Pictures or some other that was not Warner Brothers was going to produce it, and it was a white director that was going to sit in the chair, and Spike Lee, caught wind of that, and he was like, it didn't sit well with him. He was like, Malcolm's story has to be told by a Black director, right? Mm-hmm. And I think Denzel Washington explained it very well when talking about, like, when he was promoting his movie Fences. He was like, it's not about race, it's about culture, right? And
he mentioned
he's like, we're Black. We know what the smell of
the hot comb
through the hair
Sunday morning
smells like, right? He was like, anybody could have made Schindler's List, but Steven Spielberg had to be the one to make it. Anybody could have made Goodfellas, but it had to be Martin Scorsese to make it, because it's not race, it's culture, right? So same thing. Spike Lee had to direct Malcolm X, and in doing so, told the story with a certain level of authenticity that you just won't get otherwise. When you have somebody at the helm that cares for it because they have skin in the game, no pun intended, in the production and the storytelling of it, and the message that you're trying to pierce through without compromising the authenticity of the message of it. And speaking of the message,
I was just about to say, there's the greatest example that we've mentioned many times on the show is Al-Risala, the message, directed by Mustafa Aqad, Allah yarhamu.
Yeah.
Having, nobody can tell the story except a Muslim to tell the story of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? Yeah. On film. And
then he went on the Line of the Desert. The story of Umar Mukhtar. Again, a Muslim Arab is the main character, and that project was helmed by a Muslim director, right? From an Arab background, being able to tell the story of the Muslim, right? Okay, well, first, what are the origins of Islam? And then telling the story of what the impact of colonization on the Arab world. Mm-hmm. What was that like? Yeah. So, like, speaking for myself, my degree's in journalism. I went and got my degree in journalism because we were told, and I bought it, and I still firmly believe it now. Our story is going to be told. We might as well be the ones to tell it. Right? So this is where it gets into instead of the intra-community telling, this is the inter-community storytelling.
Mhm.
We are telling our story to the general society, to the general public. The comic book artist, her name escapes me at the moment, who drew Ms. Marvel, right? She is a practicing Muslimah and she wears hijab, right? As an added note, right? But she's like, I think it was important that the Muslim superhero was created within the Marvel space to that it was done by a Muslim woman.
Yeah.
It's going to create it's going to have a different authenticity in it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And that.
Amazing.
So I was going to mention like Little Mosque on the Prairie,
That's another great example.
where
I
you
love
have
that
where,
show.
where you have the person who's behind the show,
The creator,
The
and the
creator
writer
and
of
the
most of
writer.
the episodes,
right? Who is again
Shazam Noir, you know,
right.
like
right? Who's telling the story of the Muslim community here and kind of like the diaspora that they have as a Muslim, like having that connection with maybe like with the back home, but also having like showcasing what that looks like in their case in Canada,
Canada, where the Canadians live.
where the Canadians live.
Sorry, we're American over here. So.
But still, like just I mean, so like I mean, this is not so. This is kind of like this is a tangent of what we're talking about, but just the representation in the media as well. It's not just. I mean, it is important, obviously, that we tell our own stories, but also now we're seeing more and more of seeing ourselves in a certain way, in a positive way, in the last few years, in mainstream media.
Yeah. So like even like in the movie Ali, right? Ali, right? Will Smith, Michael Mann directed that, right? But Muhammad Ali himself was involved in the project, right? He handpicked Will Smith to play his part. He, you know, like there were elements, like the family was involved.
Mhm.
You know, it wasn't just here's the script, we're gonna get a director to handle it and go, right? It was more than that. It was still Muhammad Ali and his family involved in the storytelling process from the production side, from, you know, before. So I just think I think it's extremely important. We kind of hogged the conversation a little bit. I want to bring it back to you, Raef, on your.
You guys are like geeking out over movie stuff, and you know that's my weak point, man.
Not on movies.
I don't watch movies. Not because I have anything. I don't know. I just never.
Then what are you doing on the show?
Exactly. I knew I was going to strike a nerve with that. And you guys,
It's all good.
I wanted to bring up just the one more thing that we mentioned
It's still
off camera
art.
just a minute ago.
It's still expression.
I appreciate it. I just
So for example,
don't have much to talk about.
So like Yusuf Islam, for example, right? He's a classic example. You know, Sardar Cat Stevens.
He's not a classic example.
Well, no,
he's an
classic
exceptional example.
It
But
is
yeah.
example. Well, classic in the terms of how
Like
much
a
time has
known-
passed,
Yeah.
right? It is a not just known, but also like how the world knows he's Muslim.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, his name's Yusuf Islam. It's kind of
Right, it's hard to miss.
not to.
It's hard to
No.
miss.
Yeah.
And so it transcends all of those.
Yeah, I mean, he's very blessed to be in that position,
Right.
to be able to come from a place of fame pre-Islam, and then have literally millions of people follow his journey pre-Islam. When he moved away from music, when he came back, and then to where he is now. But I would say that not everyone is in that position, and not everyone is. I think people need to. I mean, we could talk about all these celebrities and all these famous people and famous artists,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, it's you only have influence over your circle,
Right.
your family, your family and friends. Number one, number two, your community, your school community, your the city that you're in, the town that you're in, the state that you're in. And so I think it's important not to lose sight of what the average person has the ability to do, and that is to be a good neighbor. This is a huge part of our deen.
Mm-hmm.
Where time and time again, Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam reminded us to care for our neighbors.
Mhm.
The Sahaba said, like, we thought it was going to be fard. How much he talked about taking care of your neighbor. Like, this is going to be too. I mean, it's obviously so
And at
important.
a time where not here in America, but the West in general, where people are more cagey and people are becoming more sort of isolated, living in their homes and not caring about, and it's always like a peculiar thing to see people just go in and out of their homes and never say hi to their neighbor, or never to, especially if you have an elderly neighbor or someone, these things are all within our reach.
Yeah.
And it's something that we can do.
Right.
That's why Maher Zain has his song, Hold My Hand.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's
reaching out to your neighbor.
And,
right.
and going back to the power of song and the power of media, you could listen to 1,000 lectures on caring for the neighbor or being grateful, but a song does it way better, in my opinion. Yeah. Maybe it's just because I'm an artist, but I just feel that that's just the way it is.
Like, we mentioned the message before, the seerah has been told orally for centuries, and it has been written down. Many, many seerah books that are out there. There have been lecture series, right? Recorded, many not over the years. But then when the message came out, that was groundbreaking, because now you're telling the story of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam
through film. A lot of people can access it. Yeah,
through film.
Yeah.
Now people get to
visualize it.
You get dropped in 7th century Arabia, and see what the Prophet sallallahu and the Sahaba went through, right? And that was like a huge inspiration for us when we did Mercy to Mankind. The trilogy play on the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The animated cartoon of Muhammad the Last Prophet, the Umar series, and so on. So it is again lecture. Okay, got it. But then you bring
one ear out the other.
Yeah, but then it's stories.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now you're telling stories, and it's the stories that's what people connect to, and it made it real, and it made it 3-dimensional, and it wasn't just, well, this is what the Prophet went through. These are the circumstances. This was like he lived and breathed in this air.
Mm-hmm.
He earned the people's trust in this society, and in this good name, they turned their backs on him. They spat on his face. They left garbage at his doorstep. They kicked him out of his home.
Yeah.
Like that. Like we look back on it like, the hijrah. Oh my God. We think of the hijrah as the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr radiallahu anh coming into Medina and everybody singing طَلَعَ الْبَدْرُ عَلَيْنَا. We don't think about when the Prophet ﷺ was escaping from Mecca with literally a ransom on his head, and he turned back one more time and he said, Wallahi, you are the most blessed land in the world to Allah, and you are the most blessed land to me. And if your people did not drive me out, I would have never left. It was a heartbreaking scenario.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, like, how do you can tell that, like we're doing it right now. You can tell it in a lecture, right? But you can show the situation where you are a fugitive. He was a fugitive, and they were assassins that were coming to kill him in his bed in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
Yeah. It's very, very. The film medium is always powerful. Yes.
Yeah. Raef, I want to ask you about the challenges that come with us wanting to tell our own story. So right now you've done MiniMuslims in your own, and you're also your own artist, under your own brand of your own artist name, Raef. MiniMuslims is another brand, and now you have the MiniMuslims television series. You completed the first season. You're working on the second season now.
Yeah, I mean, we have a cartoon series called The MiniMuslims.
At the time of this recording, yeah, we're working on producing the second season.
Second season, right?
Tell us a little about that.
So since we launched, we've been known for our songs. Well, we have Quran as well, but we have almost 62 songs launched on our channel, and hundreds of millions of views, alhamdulillah. but we did start last year a cartoon series where we really wanted to highlight the qualities and the characteristics of Rasul alayhi salatu wassalam. And the reason why we chose that in particular is because we feel that when the seeds of the love of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ are planted early on in our kids' hearts, this will protect them from years to come. As our children grow into their teenage years and into adulthood, and all that comes with that, the difficulty, they may move far away from Allah Azza wa Jal. But if they truly love the Prophet ﷺ, and if they've developed that love early on, before the turmoil comes, the hope is that they'll come back.
Yes.
And that's through song. It's through these animated cartoon series. We grew up listening or watching DuckTales and
Darkwing Duck,
Chip and Dale, and
all these Dales.
Right? So all these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all of these, right? Yeah. So like we watch I mean, it's just so it's ingrained. It's ingrained. It's part of our psyche.
Culture.
The jokes, which is our favorite character, all of that. And so we're stepping into that space with MiniMuslims.
Right.
We have season 1 out. We have 3 characters, Maryam and Sarah and Jamal, and they have their own distinct characteristics. We have a very talented scriptwriter. She's actually based here in Dallas. Her name is Kazima Wajahat. Okay, she's a very talented scriptwriter. She's the one that sort of created the personas of these characters, and we've worked very hard over the last couple of years to build this cartoon series, and we hope we can do more, inshallah.
Inshallah.
What are if I can interject, what are any other branches of MiniMuslim or any new projects that would supplement or just add to the creation of this world?
So what we're focusing on now, I mean, the songs are ongoing. That will not stop, inshallah, because that's kind of our bread and butter. It's what we're really good at, and it's just
there's a demand for it.
There's always a demand for it. People want more songs. Yeah. What we're really focusing on now is the cartoon series. Okay. We do have a lot of Quran videos that people use on our channel, like Quran learning videos for children, but
from basics and
short surahs.
Gotcha. Okay.
Short surahs and Ayatul Kursi, I believe.
Okay.
But really, the cartoon series is what we're very excited about. But it also takes a lot more time.
Okay.
When you compare it to a song,
right?
You're talking about 15, 20-minute episodes.
You're
talking about like a story with the climax, with the protagonist and the antagonist, and all that goes into a good story. It's a lot more complex than a song.
Yeah.
A song is over in 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes, right? So there's a lot of challenges that come with that, but it's been a fun experience.
Yeah.
Walk me through the Walk me through the process from concept to final.
So there's a lot of discussion that happens even before the script writing.
What do you want to talk about, or what? So what character? I mean, so many beautiful characteristics of the Prophet ﷺ. What are the ones that we going to focus on this season, and then on each episode? Each episode is a different characteristic of the Prophet ﷺ. And then revolve a story around that characteristic.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then fleshing out, and
then writing the script, and then going through and reading it back, and then after that we take it to our animators to sort of imagine how it would look like on a storyboard. Then we do the voiceover recording, and then we do the illustrations, and then we take the illustrations and then we animate it. I mean, it's the similar process that we use for animating a song, but there's a story involved, and so that script writing element is a different beast.
I mean, it's just straight animation, really. At that point, it's not necessarily just like song and like music video, but it's just straight filmmaking.
Pretty much,
yes,
pretty much.
Beautiful, love that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's kind of going back to the challenges on producing, right? I know that when you're putting these out on YouTube, are there any other platforms for it to go out? I mean, basically, I'm thinking of it from the monetization side of it.
The monetization.
How does funding come about, and how can we support?
Well, there's 2 ways that people do this. Typically, when people create a film or a series, in order to fund it, they either release it through
Patreon or some sort of
paywall.
paywall. Yeah.
So they'll do it through like the Netflix model.
Okay. Subscription.
Where there's a subscription base. But early on with MiniMuslims, we decided not to do anything subscription based.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our content is open and free to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And like any YouTube channel, the way we generate revenues through ads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when we have more views, we have more ads, and that's how we sustain our channel. The challenge with the cartoon series is it's a lot more expensive to create a 15, 20-minute episode compared to a 3 or 4 minute song.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this and you'd like to support, you could support us 2 easy ways. Number 1, watch our stuff.
Yeah.
Watch and share with your friends. That's the easy way to do it because it costs you nothing. And the other ways, of course, you can support our work financially just by visiting.
Mm-hmm.
And make dua for us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That would be
good. Wonderful. So, any other questions? You've been kind of quiet over there, Abdurrahman. You're just kind of like
Taking it all in, man. It's a lot.
It's cool.
I thought you were going to continue to be like,
leave it open.
I'm like Silent Bob.
yeah, like that guy. So, Raef, we got you a couple of gifts that I hope you'll accept from us. That inshallah they will serve as some kind of inspiration, or maybe even something a little bit of fun. No.
You can take that. Dollar store, it's fine.
So, do you know what a movie theater mylar is? Okay, that's what these things are up on the wall.
So
the guy said he doesn't watch movies. So I would take him to the movie theater and look.
I was explaining this to somebody the other day. I said a long time ago, there used to be these places called movie theaters. And when you went into these movie theaters, there used to be this box office where you would interact with the thing called a person.
Inside that box.
And so they would be humans, and they would say, like, here's the shows. And it would have this little, like, miniature poster, maybe about that big. And it would say, here are the showtimes for this movie. And then you would say, I want that showtime in this movie or whatever. Cool. So then you would go inside, get your popcorn, your snacks, whatever it is. And they say, okay, go ahead and head over to auditorium number 4. So as you head over to auditorium number 4, the way you are sure this is your movie is because outside that auditorium, there's this thing there, and inside is a little slit. It's a box. It's a light box, and there's a little poster. It's about 5 inches by 25 inches, and that's what these are. And they would be outside the auditorium. It's like in this auditorium, it's Saving Private Ryan, it's Interstellar, it's Oppenheimer, Star Wars, whatever the thing is. And so,
yeah, we have a mylar for you.
So we have.
How do you say it? Mylar?
It's a mylar. MYLAR.
Yeah.
This is my first time knowing about it too. I mean,
Okay. So I'm not the only one.
So got these from our drug dealer. Our friend. I mean, our drug dealer.
He's not our friend. He's our drug dealer.
He's the seller on eBay movie theater mylars.
Why are we shouting him out? My God, this is all.
This is where we got these guys from.
Because he gives us good price. We're able to feed this addiction.
Yeah. So, as I really, speaking from myself as a Muslim living in America, and growing up with the arts and knowing and appreciating the importance of the arts and telling our stories, and I tell myself in an alternate universe, I'm you. You're doing what I'm doing, what I want to do. MashaAllah alaik. And I know it can be challenging. I know it can be very frustrating when the community is not supporting the work that you're putting out there, and it can be very difficult. And it reminded me of the behind the scenes story of how Spike Lee made Malcolm X when the film Malcolm X, when the funding got pulled, production, the studio changed, and then long story short, he winded up having to go and fund the movie himself. He asked affluent Black Americans to fund this project, and his pitch to them was, we need to tell our story. We need to tell our story the way we want to tell our story. And it wasn't going to be a tax write-off. It wasn't going to, like, none of these benefits that come with making a donation, none of it was there, right? But he was strategic about it and how to acquire the money that was needed to tell the movie version of Malcolm X the way he wanted. So with all that in mind, Raef, this is an authentic movie mylar of Malcolm X when it was at the movie theater.
Very nice.
Okay. There's a gift from us to you. Inshallah will serve as an inspiration for you to keep going.
There's Denzel right there.
And as one of our heroes, Imam al-Shaheed, Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X. And behind it, I know you are a huge fan of our four favorite ninjas. The Heroes in the Half Shell. This is an authentic authentic movie mylar of a re-release.
That's awesome.
In the movie theater. So when these were in the theater for,
super cool. Thanks, guys.
These were outside the auditorium.
Thank you.
Enjoy the gift from us. Appreciate your time coming on the show and sharing your thoughts as a professional in the industry.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That's always nice spending time with you all.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not another like a zillion years so I'm back in Dallas.
No, we'd love to have you.
Just one thing. Don't put a hole in them like a push pin to hang it up. Put it in a frame or something.
I'm putting this in my rabbit shed. What are you talking about?
His rabbits, man, and the squirrels.
Yes, rabbits. We can have another episode about my rabbits and squirrels and deer.
Hunting.
Yeah, that's another.
You're a real man.
That's another beast. That's another beast. Thank you, guys.
We love all the work that you do and the collaboration that you have with fellow artists as well, putting out great content, being very influential, alhamdulillah, for a future generation. So we thank you.
You should have these folks on. You should have Dawood Warnsby and the guys from Native Deen, and these people have done so much for our space and our community,
our voice, really,
and it's I don't believe that they have been celebrated enough, and so
this is my face.
Yeah, there's just so much.
My voice.
Allah bless them, honestly. Allah bless them. Seriously, they
Abdul Malik, Naeem, Joshua,
come to Dallas.
Come on down.
These
We'd love
guys.
to have you on the show, inshallah, for sure. Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallahu feekum.
We hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Real Talk Deen and Dunya. If y'all did, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that post notification down below. I am one of your hosts, Mustafa Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Abdurrahman Talib.
And I'm one of your hosts, Ayman Talib.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. And I don't know if this is going to be going out before Ramadan or not. I don't know. We're going to go on a little hiatus during Ramadan. So happy Ramadan. And we'll see you after.
May Allah accept from you all your fasting and your qiyam, reading the Quran, and all the other good deeds, inshallah, that you do. Inshallah.
Ameen.
And have the right intention when you do it.
We'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.